Hey guys, Char5 here, and today we're doing another SpeedPaint discussion video. This was another donation drawing, same as last time, for the same person. He didn't donate twice. The thing was, I took so long to do the first one, the Tharja Gregor one, that I figured to make up for it, I'd draw him something else, and I didn't ask, what he wanted me to draw. I just drew something that I knew he would probably like because he really likes Pepsi Man. And I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't like Pepsi Man? So I figured I'll just draw something really cartoony for him because the last one was more anime, more, sort of trying to be a little bit semi-serious. This one I wanted to do more like a comic book, more, because I don't really draw comic book stuff all too much. So I wanted to do something more comic book, more cartoony. So I wanted to go for this. And today the topic we're gonna be talking about is something that I kind of faced during this drawing, which is draw what you don't know. A lot of people suggest draw what you know, and I'm here to sort of not be contrarian, but offer another piece of advice, which is draw what you don't know. Drawing what you know is something that, yes, is very important, and it will help you hone your artistic ability and your artistic skill, but I think drawing what you don't know will push you to learn something new. And I'm always sort of giving that advice to people, because usually what happens when you're an artist and you have a lot of experience, you tend to draw the same things. And what I mean by that is sometimes, yeah, you draw literally the same characters or the same, pose or, something similar. But in this case, what I mean is draw something completely out of your comfort zone. Draw something you would not, maybe not in a million years, but you wouldn't even think of drawing. So to me, what I wanted to do was cans. Cans are something that are actually in tune with what I talked about in the last episode, which is draw from reality. Soda cans are one of the things where you can learn texturing, you can learn lighting. And I've never really drawn soda cans before, so I thought this would be a really good opportunity to do that. Male anatomy, which is something I don't really draw all too much either. I usually draw female anatomy. I'm more comfortable drawing that, again, because of the curves. And I'm not as comfortable drawing male anatomy because of how stiff... No, stiff isn't the right word. More so, it's sharper than the female anatomy, but I think it's an invaluable skill to know because it can help with character design, which is something I love. And I'm drawing Pepsi Man being chased by a Coke van or a Coke truck, which actually shoots two things out of the water, which is perspective and cars. Cars are another really good thing to draw from reality because, again, it comes into the whole metallic texture and lighting effects and all that. Not only that, but it also helps with angles, which is something, as I mentioned before, I'm terrible at. So I'm drawing a lot of things that are kind of out of my comfort zone, a lot of things that I don't normally draw, but that I wanted to learn a little bit more how to. And while I don't think that this is the best piece I've ever drawn, I think I did learn a few things about it and from it. Typography is something else that I don't really like. I don't know if that's the right word. No, yeah, typography, not topography, because that's geographical. But like drawing letters. Letters are something that I don't really do all too much, and with the Pepsi font, I'm kind of learning a little bit about how to do it, the line width, the line weight, the angles, curving it, giving it that perspective-y shift. And not only that, but I also mentioned in the last episode, I hate drawing scenes. So with this, I didn't just... I was originally just going to do like a Pepsi Man pose, but I was like, that's... I do that all the time. I always draw just like characters and poses. So I'm going to paint a scene with this, which I sort of regret. I sort of regret because I feel like I could have done a better job if I just did a Pepsi Man pose. But I figure, you know what? I feel like everyone does that. Why not like do, like I said, more of a comic book thing where I'm setting a scene and, it's sort of humorous. Pepsi Man being chased by a Coke truck. Because that kind of happens in the game. Except is it a Coke truck? I think it is. I think it's a red truck. I'm not sure if it's a Pepsi truck. Because there are Pepsi trucks in the game. Never played it, but maybe someday. But when it came to the background, last time I didn't actually show me doing the background. I don't know why. But I did a very simple like gradient white to like pinkish sort of tan color. This time around, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do a actually full-fledged background, which is something I am terrible at. When it comes to environment, I am awful at it. I don't know how to incorporate it. I don't know how to blend stuff in. And that's one thing that I have a really hard time facing. And that's, again, a reason why I wanted to do it this way, so that I get out of my comfort zone and maybe learn a little bit about it. And I'd say that I learned a little bit about it. I'm slowly but surely incorporating backgrounds into my drawings a little bit more and more. And I think this is where I started to be like, okay, I need to start doing this because I need to learn. I need to learn how to do environments so that I can blend them in better. And also, not only that, but I'm doing it at a slanted angle, so it's like downhill. And, you know, again, you can see that I'm not doing straight lines. Even with the sidewalk, you can see that it's you know, it has an arc to it. And that's just how I do things. That's just how I draw. I don't like doing things in a straight line, mostly because I have a hard time keeping a straight line. I very much do like drawing curves. And even though I don't do perfect circles, I still like the way I make them look like a little squash or a little, I don't know. There's something about that I actually do enjoy about my own art style, which I can't really say a whole lot. I can't really say that I like a lot about the things I do, but, you know, I do enjoy drawing that a lot. So, basically, if you have something that you know that you are good at, maybe try shifting that focus from, okay, draw that thing you're good at, but also incorporate things you know you're not good at, because that way you might learn something else. If you're not good at lighting or shading, you know, try to something like that. If you're not good at anatomy, draw people. If you're not good at drawing animals, draw animals. You know, just stuff like that, and you'll not only will you learn how to do that, you'll learn an invaluable lesson on how to draw more things. You'll also learn how to better apply certain things to things that you do know how to draw and that you like drawing. For example, drawing this truck in this perspective might help me learn how to draw characters from, you know, like a down top perspective, like seeing them from a lower angle than what I'm used to, because I actually I don't think I've ever drawn a character like looking at them from the bottom or from the top. I don't like doing that because I'm bad at it. And I'm bad at it because I don't practice it, right? So like that's more so, I think, an obvious kind of idea. Like, you're bad at it because you don't do it. Of course you're going to be good at the thing that you're always doing. So if I'm always drawing characters, sooner or later I'm going to get good at drawing characters, you know, if I'm drawing them all the time. Similarly, if I keep drawing environments, eventually I'll get better at them. But I just have to find that courage inside of myself to do that. Here's something that's actually quite... that I actually kind of like about Pepsi Man's design is the fact that he doesn't have any facial features, which kind of allows me to focus more on the anatomy side of him. Like, it allows me to focus on you know, his muscles, which that's something I kind of don't understand about people who are learning anatomy. They always draw like the most fit people possible. Like, what about the, you know, more obese kind of bodies? A lot of people don't focus on that, and I think we should, because they might be more realistic body types. Yeah, we draw things that we naturally want to be more aesthetically pleasing to us. You know, a very curvy woman, a very muscly man. But why not draw a muscly woman, or like a fat dude, or a fat girl? You know, stuff like that. Like more average body types. That's something I kind of, and honestly, because I've never been super fit, I've gotten into that idea of drawing like more full-sized characters. And that actually feeds into my interest. It feeds into the fact that I like drawing curves. I like, you know, not having to draw. I think that might be a reason why I have a hard time drawing hands too, because they're very like straight lines. They're very refined lines, and I'm not very used to that. So I do more curves than anything else. And you'll notice that like Pepsi Man's like middle finger is actually like fatter than the rest of him. That's a result of that. And here you'll notice that like despite the fact that I say I don't like drawing that I don't like drawing straight lines, I draw fingers very kind of square shaped. They still have a curve to them, but they're very square shaped. I think I might have gotten that from the way Butch Hartman draws hands. I don't know why. I just always liked the way he drew hands and stuff. Like you'll notice in stuff like Danny Phantom, Danny has very square fingers. I guess that's kind of where I got that from. So yeah, like I guess I'll talk about that in the next video about like look at your inspirations, but that's not what we're here to talk about right now. Actually, that's good that I have a new subject because I don't really know what the hell I'm going to be talking about until I actually get down to it. But yeah, drawing outside of your comfort zone is scary. It's definitely not something that you ideally want to do because you're like, well, why would I draw something that I'm bad at? Why, like, it's gonna make my drawing look awful, and I don't want that on my portfolio. But that's gonna lead to something that you do want on your portfolio. Like, you want to show. Not only, a lot of people don't like showing weaknesses, and that's completely understandable. I completely get why people wouldn't like people to know, hey, this is what I suck at, so don't hire me, or maybe don't ask me to draw this. But at least you're showing, hey, I'm versatile. You know, these are things that maybe I don't know how to draw, but I'm willing to draw them. And a lot of people might not see that as invaluable. I think it's pretty damn invaluable because, sure, I'm not the best at what I do, but I'm willing to try, you know? And that shows great values as an artist. It shows that you're not just a one-trick horse. You're not just a one-trick pony. You're also willing to do other things. And while I don't think that this is the best at all, not even close to one of the best pieces I've ever drawn, I can still say I'm proud of it because, you know, I tried. And I think I grew into that pride because when I first finished this drawing, I looked at it and I was like, man, I really don't like this. I mean, I tried my best. I like the way Pepsi Man looks. I like the way the soda can looks. That's about it, though. Like, the rest of it is something that I don't really like. But despite the fact that I may not like it all too much, I'm proud of it because I tried something new. I tried to learn how to do a very perspective-y looking truck, even though, you know, again, it's what I talked about in the last episode. Is it convincing? I don't think the truck's very convincing. I'm not convinced that that's an actual truck. You can make it look, despite the fact that you can bend it in ways that don't make sense, it can still look convincing. And here, I think because maybe the tires or just the angle at which I tried to draw it, I don't know. I try to make it more cartoony than I should have, and I think that worked to its deficit. And here, when it comes to backgrounds, I just try to add like a railing. It's very, you know, Sonic Adventure 2-esque. And the reason for that is, as a lot of people may know, like there's a segment inside Pepsi Man that reminds a lot of people of Sonic Adventure 2, where you're being chased by the gun truck in City Escape. And actually, it's funny because Pepsi Man came out before Sonic Adventure 2, so maybe Sega got some ideas from Pepsi. Maybe there's more. It makes sense, guys. Pepsi Man and Sonic both have red, white, and blue in their designs. It finally, I'm getting somewhere with that. No, but what I usually see a lot of people do is they don't put any lines in their backgrounds, which I like that style. I like the not having any outlines or any line work done on it. But this time around, I figured, you know what? A lot of people have very refined backgrounds, so they don't have the outlining, but they do have, you know, more refined shapes despite that. So that's kind of what I was trying to go with here. Like, I was trying to not have line work, but I was trying to have more refined shapes, and I sort of like the way it looks. It's kind of painterly. The shading doesn't make sense in terms of the rest of the characters, so I'm still really learning how to blend my foreground characters who are very defined, very, highlighted and stuff, that I know how to do very well, with backgrounds, which is something I have very little experience with, something that I don't know how to do, and something that I'm not really comfortable doing because I don't know how to do it. Lighting and stuff, like I'm trying to find out how I can make it look natural and not just make it look like a mess, because that's kind of how I feel like it was. I wanted to make it look like a postcard, and I'm still looking forward to knowing how to make that like photograph postcard sort of effect, because I don't know, I've seen other artists do it and it looks really nice, and here I'm just like trying different shading things for the I like the way the ground looks, like the road, but everything else is kind of like iffy. And here you can see what I'm saying, like trying to get that postcard, like that scrapbook sort of effect. I ultimately just ended up going with these two things that make it sort of look like they're fast lines. This is the final result. Again, I can't say that I necessarily 100% like this drawing. I like Pepsi Man. I like the Pepsi can. Not a fan of the truck, but it could have been worse. The background leaves a lot to be desired, but I'm proud of the fact that I at least tried to do something different with this. I didn't just go for the stereotypical Pepsi Man awesome pose that I definitely would have gone for, but I stopped myself from doing it so I could practice with backgrounds, practice with stuff that's out of my element, and thus, perhaps one day become a better artist. But, guys, I hope you like this drawing. I hope you like the discussion, the lesson. I hope you learned something from it. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe and stay awesome. This is Char5, signing off.